Hello, I'm Samantha. You're watching 7's Afternoon News live from Perth. Coming up, Western Australia becomes an island within an island as the government shuts down the border from the rest of the nation. A lifeline for parents, keeping childcare centres open, no charge for anyone who needs it. As West Australians heed the advice to stay at home, Perth's suburbs become ghost towns. Donald Trump points the finger at China. Have they been fudging the figures on their virus victims? And the AFL boss calls on fans to stand by their club as members think about refunds. Good afternoon. With our number of COVID-19 positive cases hitting 400, including 8 new patients discovered today, the state government has introduced new isolation measures never seen before. Jeff Parry joins me now. And Jeff, this is extreme, what the government refers to as a hard border.
Sam, it is extreme, and the Premier says it is necessary. Our number of coronavirus cases is tracking much better than most of the other states. The fear is people with the virus will come to WA and spread it to the point that we lose control. To that end, Western Australia is saying to eastern staters, don't come. You're not welcome under the present circumstances. We already have police and army patrols at crossing points in Kununurra and Eucla and patrolling some very remote desert roads. It had till now been open for anyone prepared to do a 14-day self-isolation once they got here, but from 11:59 p.m. on Sunday, anyone who's not from WA, there will be a blanket refusal. West Australians who want to come home are being told to do it now.
In effect, we'll be turning Western Australia into an island within an island, our own country.
And there will also be a further clampdown on travel in the Kimberley after 6 new cases reported there, a situation the Premier calls alarming.
We must act fast. So effective from midnight tonight, or 11:59 p.m, additional restrictions will be in place in the Kimberley region. New boundaries in line with the 4 local government areas are now in place. People must stay in their local government area.
Yeah, so Sam, what we're seeing is that these changes are becoming almost daily events, but, the restrictions are getting tighter also. I'll be back in 6 o'clock.
Thanks for updating us, Jeff. Childcare will now be free for parents who continue working during the coronavirus pandemic, with the federal government outlining a plan to keep centres running. Almost 13,000 centres will see financial support as the Attorney-General outlines further changes to workplace laws. Tim Lester reports from Canberra.
Yet another policy announcement from the Morrison government, unthinkable until just a couple of weeks ago. Free childcare, it says, for approximately 1 million Australian families. It will begin on April 6th, this Sunday, and will extend at least 3 months. Cost for that period, $1.6 billion. And the government says it will consider an extension at that time. 13,000 childcare and early learning centres will receive a government payment roughly equal to 50% of what they were earning before the exodus of children as the lockdown for coronavirus began. The government says this will solve 2 problems. It will keep Australian childcare centres open and busy in the months ahead, and it will also provide care for workers who perform essential services and jobs in our community. Indeed, the government is now prodding families who've taken their children out of childcare centres in recent weeks to go back and reapply for free childcare under this new system beginning Sunday.
And we'll be putting in place support arrangements to the childcare facilities, some 13,000 of them, to ensure that they'll be able to remain open and be there for those parents to ensure that they can do what they need to do each day.
You do not have the worry and the concern about trying to look for new care for your children.
As well, the government is applauding profound industrial relations changes likely to alter about 103 awards of particular importance to hospitality workers and others. About 2 million workers in the Australian economy will be given new flexibility to work between roles and also to take holidays that are cheaper for their employers and more flexible for them. The Attorney-General saying today these new changes will save tens of thousands of jobs.
With thousands of Perth people staying home to stop the spread of COVID-19, our public places have become eerily empty. This is Perth as we've never seen it before.
The empty station of an empty city. Ghost trains running up and down our lines with almost no one on them. Commuter numbers are down by 80% and still falling daily. With tens of thousands staying home, Perth's public places are empty and eerily quiet. In Northbridge, almost no one out and about. The party well and truly over on James Street. No one to be seen on Aberdeen. If Beaufort Street was already struggling, now it's dead. Mount Lawley has all the movement of a mausoleum. The strip in Vic Park, stripped of vibrancy. In Elizabeth Quay, the seagulls wait for chips that never come. With borders closed and planes grounded, life and movement have departed our airport. Oxford Street, Leederville, Forest Chase in the city, the Murray Street Mall. The lunchtime rush, now the lunchtime hush. Stick a fork in Fremantle, it's done. All across Perth, no work, no play, no one. There are places in WA that have become busier. Hospitals, Centrelink and the checkpoints at our new intrastate borders will have the figures on who's crossing and who's not at 6 o'clock.
The man in charge of the Artania cruise ship has been revealed as a celebrity captain who starred in several seasons of a hit cruise-themed documentary series. This afternoon, his ship is still docked at Fremantle and it's unlikely to leave before the weekend. Sian Doherty explains.
For Western Australians, the Artania is the ship that won't leave. But for several years, its home country of Germany has watched it sail all over the world in a hit documentary series. The star is the Artania's captain, Morten Hansen, who's somewhat of a cruise ship celebrity. He was at the helm for several seasons of the show, which translates to crazy for the sea.
Kapitän Morten Hansen ist gut gelaunt.
But the Artania won't head back out to sea for at least several days. According to the Australian Border Force Commissioner, the Artania is unlikely to leave by this weekend, but not because it refuses to. There are two major issues that need to be resolved. Crew members from Southeast Asia who want to fly home from Perth and, most urgently, the 12 crew members showing symptoms of COVID-19. It's vital that anyone on board who's unwell gets medical treatment.
There are no doubt issues concerning the crew members, so it really requires Australia to provide them with ongoing medical assistance while such time as the vessel is in port.
New South Wales is also in the midst of a cruise ship standoff. Medical teams have been flown to cruise ships off the coast to treat sick crew members. Although police have demanded anchored cruise ships return to their home ports, the federal government says it has a duty to provide healthcare. In 7 News at 6, a maritime law expert explains exactly what Australians' obligations are and whether any of these ships will be forced to leave.
Big banks are beginning to offer more support for customers during the crisis. The Commonwealth Bank is increasing loan assistance, offering one-time payments for customers deferring home loan repayments. Gemma Acton reports.
The Commonwealth Bank has today expanded its offer to customers opting to defer loan repayments for 6 months by saying that it will refund any capitalised interest earned during the period. While all of the major banks have offered home loan and business customers the option of pausing payments, for now the Commonwealth is the only major lender to say customers will not bear the additional interest cost.
It'll put, on average, about $45 back in the pocket of each of those customers who apply for that change.
CommBank has also cancelled late fees and interest earned during March for credit card customers who are unable to make their minimum repayments for the month. Over at Westpac, today Interim Chief Executive Peter King officially assumed the position on a permanent basis and said while the bank is providing assistance to all customers, demand has been unprecedented.
We've had over 100,000 consumers ask us for those packages. We're working through them. And we will honour those packages. So please know if you can't get us straight away, we'll be honouring those packages.
Shares in the major banks struggled today on fears their dividends will be cut and profits will be hit as a result of the sharp economic contraction resulting from the coronavirus crisis.
To breaking news now, and a driver has ended up in the Swan River after a collision with another car in Applecross. Live now to Anna Hay. Anna, what can you tell us?
Good afternoon, Sam. Well, details are still coming to hand, but as you can see behind me, the Toyota Land Cruiser is still submerged in the river. We've been told the female driver behind the wheel collided with another car on the Canning Bridge at around 2:30 this afternoon. The white sedan was flipped onto its roof, and police say a person had to be freed from the wreckage. Paramedics did check on the female driver. Understandably, she was very distressed, but incredibly, she wasn't seriously injured. Instead, her main priority was to get home to her kids. Canning Highway is closed westbound in Como, and the right lane on the Canning Bridge eastbound is blocked. As you can imagine, traffic is heavy on approach. And 7 News at 6, hear from a cyclist who missed being hit by just seconds. Sam.
Anna, thank you. A classified US intelligence report has apparently concluded that the coronavirus outbreak in China is much worse than officially reported by the government there. It comes as Donald Trump considers more travel restrictions. Ashley Mullaney reports from the White House.
Good afternoon. President Trump has warned the nation to prepare for more horrific days as coronavirus continues to claim lives across America and more states go into lockdown. Florida's governor became the latest to enforce a statewide stay-at-home order, saying he believes the virus could have been spreading through Miami during the Super Bowl back in February. The governor issued the order after President Trump delivered the gravest projections yet from the White House, estimating between 100,000 and 240,000 lives could be lost to the virus in the US alone. Speaking from the White House today, the president said he has no plans to implement a national lockdown, but was considering domestic travel restrictions between areas with the highest infection rates.
I am looking at hotspots. I am looking where flights are going into hotspots. Closing up every single flight on every single airline, that's a very, very rough decision. But we are thinking about hotspots where you go from spot to spot, both hot.
The US now leads the world in the number of confirmed cases, with a predicted apex still 2 weeks away. But there are mounting questions about the figures released by China, with the US conceding it has no way to verify the number of cases or deaths. The Vice President saying Beijing should have been more transparent when it first learned of the disease.
What appears evident now is that long before the world learned in December that China was dealing with this, and maybe as much as a month earlier than that the outbreak was real in China.
New York remains at the heart of the crisis, with the governor there warning more states will almost certainly follow suit.
Another 563 people have died because of coronavirus in the UK as the government there admits it needs to step up its testing regime. As Hugh Whitfield reports, the future king has given an update on his condition.
The Prince of Wales says he's now recovered from what he's described as a mild bout of coronavirus. The 71-year-old heir to the throne is still in lockdown at Burke Hall on the Balmoral estate, recording this message aimed at seniors but applicable to us all.
We are faced by a profoundly challenging situation, which we are only too aware threatens the livelihoods, businesses and welfare of millions of our fellow citizens. None of us can say when this will end.
The end does seem a long way off, especially here in Britain, where 563 people have lost their lives to coronavirus in the last 24 hours. Boris Johnson releasing a video message of his own, describing it as a sad, sad day. In Spain, a record daily death toll there too. 863 people have been killed by the virus in the last day. And in France, similar figures, 509, another record daily loss of life there too. All up, 30,000 people have lost their lives to coronavirus across Europe, and the peak in many of the countries, including here in the UK, is still yet to hit. It may seem insignificant compared to those rising daily death tolls, but Wimbledon, the world's most prestigious tennis tournament here in London, has now been cancelled for 2020. Organisers were looking at possibly postponing the tournament, as has happened with the French Open, but they know that the date due to start in July is simply too close considering the current climate. It's the first time since the Second World War that the championships have been cancelled.
Staying in the UK, and there has been an outpouring of grief for a doctor who came out of retirement to help in the crisis but has died. 68-year-old Alpha Sadhu contracted COVID-19. He worked as a doctor for 40 years, both in Britain and Nigeria. He's the fourth medic to have died in the UK. Football fans desperate for a membership refund will get their wish, according to AFL boss Gillon McLachlan, but he's pleading with supporters to stand by their clubs during the biggest financial crisis in football history.
On-field sacrifice is a part of footy. Now it's the members being asked to dig deep for the cause.
Of course, if they need it, they can. But yes, clearly love them to stay because our industry is in a battle and our clubs are in a battle to get through, and the membership is their lifeblood.
You should absolutely have the option of getting a refund. We would encourage fans who can afford it to treat this year's membership as a donation.
In 2019 alone, Collingwood generated almost $31 million in membership and matchday income. That's 42% of the club's total revenue. So far, the response from fans across the competition has been overwhelmingly positive, with calls for refunds few and far between. The Magpies have actually sold 50 memberships in the past 48 hours, while the Bulldogs have signed up 60 new members in the past 7 days.
A wonderful bloke called Brian, who's a truckie, actually rang in and bought 4 memberships to support the club.
You need to do what you've got to do for your family. But what we have found is that our membership are sticking fat. They're supporting the football club. They're understanding that they are a part of something bigger than themselves. And I think that's always been the case. And potentially in a circumstance like this, you realise it more than ever.
Andrew McCormack, 7 News.
To big pharmacists and a huge range
dealing with mental health. And there's the big one. To start your island experience, visit Australia's Indian Ocean Island.
At John Hughes, we have a huge selection of vehicles, including and Hyundai, and more than 2,000 pre-owned vehicles, all in one location. John Hughes.
It is very important that we do some level of screening in an animal model before any vaccine goes into humans.
And that could happen in a matter of months. The vaccines were developed by the University of Oxford and a pharmaceutical company in the US. It's the job of the CSIRO to see if they work.
So I see us starting to get some results probably around June will be the time when we're starting to generate results, and that we can be able to announce to the international community what our findings are.
But while they do their best to eradicate the disease, their advice to the world is stay at home.
Those public health measures need to be held in place until we are actually safe with vaccines that can in fact actually eradicate or at least control fairly systematically this disease and outbreak.
Chanel Vella, 7 News.
Community groups in the city of Swan have come together to form a coronavirus task force. Staff are stepping away from their usual office duties to deliver groceries to locals impacted by COVID-19. Amber Johnston reports.
Midless has been helping people for more than 30 years, but staff here say the current demand for food and emergency supplies is something they have never experienced before. Since launching their coronavirus task force, the group has been inundated by hundreds of people pleading for help.
In the food boxes we have pasta, rice, pasta sauce, tuna, cereal. We've also been able to get a lot of stuff, nappies, baby wipes, formula.
Staff here have rolled up their sleeves, taking donations from Food Bank and packing them into emergency relief packages to send to vulnerable community members.
Some of our volumes are up 25-30% increase on the previous year. So from a food relief perspective, that's really scary to think that there are so many people out there at the moment that are really struggling.
Council cars have also been repurposed as delivery vehicles, keeping City of Swan staff employed while ensuring people in need don't need to leave their homes while self-isolating to access this help.
I received the call today. I was just so happy and almost in tears because we were looking for nappies and formulas.
This initiative is for those living in the city of Swan, but staff say calls for help have come from all over Perth. They're now asking other local councils to jump on board and adopt similar programs to help those living in their areas.
Talking to a number of my colleagues from Wanneroo and Stirling and Joondalup in particular are very active in that space. They are very much working with their own groups to support that.
And in 7 News at 6 o'clock, we tell you how you can help during this time of need.
There's been a dramatic end to a high-speed police chase in the United States. Police in Michigan say this car got up to speeds of 160 kilometres an hour before it tried to get around traffic, losing control and hurtling into a tree. Both the driver and the passenger were taken to hospital. They were being chased over a suspected carjacking. Struggling to deal with the COVID-19 outbreak, eastern parts of Spain have been hit by flash flooding. The overnight deluge led to several rescues of people and families in lockdown. The region hasn't seen this much rain since 1976. A US Navy captain's plea to evacuate a coronavirus-ravaged aircraft carrier has been answered. Thousands of sailors are finally being moved ashore after an outbreak of COVID-19 on board. Dozens of cases have been confirmed on the ship. While most of the sailors head ashore, about 1,000 will stay on board to keep the vessel in operation. The High Court sets a date for the judgment in George Pell's final appeal. Details ahead. Also, retired doctors and nurses being brought back to help in the battle against the COVID-19 pandemic. And Australians told not to panic as new restrictions are placed on dentists.
As the day breaks, the news breaks right here.
Live to our reporters.
The team Australia trusts are on Sunrise.
Get 60 months interest-free now at Harvey Norman and receive a bonus gift card. The more you spend using interest-free, the greater the value of the bonus gift card, up to $300. Get what you need now with huge deals across computers, technology, home appliances and entertainment. Get 60 months interest-free and receive a bonus gift card. The more you spend using interest-free, the greater the value of the bonus gift card, up to $300. Hurry, shop in-store or online now at Harvey Norman.
Little Bella's home with a newfound friend. Luckily, with Pino Clean Laundry Sanitizer, it doesn't matter where that's been. Because unlike detergent alone, which doesn't get rid of all germs, it removes 99.9% of bacteria. It's not clean unless it's Pino Clean.
We gotta get out of this place.
Make a positive change to Eco Lifestyle Villages Northam. First 20 buyers get free power for life. Visit Eco Lifestyle Villages Northam to find out more.
Not all paracetamols are the same. Panadol with Optizorb has an advanced formula to deliver paracetamol more efficiently and be absorbed faster. It's fast and effective on pain and gentle on stomachs. Panadol with Optizorb from your pharmacy or supermarket.
What's the difference between sultanas and currants?
I have no idea.
Why don't they just call them dried grapes? I mean, a dried apricot is called a dried apricot. If a currant gets old, is it still currant?
Baker's Delight. Nice and simple.
Get the power.
It's Tyre Power's massive Easter sale with more great deals on big brand tyres. Get the power of our giant giveaway on Toyo tyres. Simply buy 3 and we'll give you 1 free on a great range of Toyo passenger car and SUV tyres. Or save $100 on selected Cooper tyres when you buy a set from the Cooper ATT range of SUV tyres. Tyre Power's massive Easter sale is now on. Visit tyrepower.com.au or call 13 21 91 for your local owner-operator.
Have you filed a claim for compensation for a car or work accident injury? Do you know how much you deserve and what your outstanding claim is worth? Phone solicitor Simon Walters for your free initial consultation now.
A few years ago, my partner and I split up. All of our loans were in joint names, and I was left holding the bag. I finally caught up, and now I need finance, but no one will help me, even though I've paid them all. What can I do?
Simple. Go to yesloans.com.au. We work harder to say yes more often.
Woolworths are open for our customers all over Australia, thanks to the dedication of our team members. And as we rely on each other as never before, our customers continue to show remarkable patience and understanding, while our team members continue to go above and beyond to provide what our customers need. To all of you, we say thank you.
Up to 40,000 retired doctors and nurses are being urged to return to work to help deal with the increase in coronavirus cases. Australia's health watchdog will also allow final year medical students to enter the hospital system early.
As with so many aspects of the COVID-19 response, this measure is unprecedented. The Australian Health Practitioner Regulation Agency has created a new pandemic sub-register to fast-track the return of retired health practitioners to the system. 40,000 of them, including doctors, nurses, midwives and pharmacists who've left the system within the past 3 years, will be automatically added for the next 12 months.
We're lucky to have such a group of recently retired health professionals to be able to call upon.
So our nurses are coming back in. Our existing nurses are seeking to increase their capacity.
No one will be compelled to return to work, and many of those re-registered will not be able to work due to their age and their own health considerations, especially the elderly. New South Wales Health is also working with universities to identify final year medical students who could boost the workforce under strict supervision in non-COVID-19 wards. That would free up other clinicians to deal with the crisis. In addition, the federal government has announced funding for intensive care online training and refresher courses to get up to 20,000 nurses qualified to work on the coronavirus front line.
Dentists are the latest to face new restrictions to stop the spread of coronavirus. Even in the best of times, most people try to avoid the trip, but now routine checkups along with some surgical procedures have been cancelled.
Well, last night, dentists across Australia were officially ordered to down tools unless the case is an emergency or the patient is in acute pain.
Use your dentist as a port of call first. Use the offers of teledentistry that most dentists are putting out there. Speak to them, phone them. A lot of practices are still open and still taking calls. We're just restricted with what we can do and what we can provide.
For thousands of adults, teenagers and children undergoing orthodontic treatment like braces, the advice is not to panic.
There's a lot of worried parents out there as well that are worried about what's happening with their children and adults with their orthodontic treatment. We've essentially had to put them in a hold.
Dental practices around the country are now going online with advice in the hope of treating patients and preventing them from having to turn up at already busy hospitals.
My advice would be to pick up the phone first and ring your dentist.
Public dental services are still operating for now, but dentists say the most important thing we can all do is stay on top of our oral hygiene.
Another truck carrying hundreds of rolls of toilet paper has gone up in flames, this time in Texas. All lanes of the interstate near Dallas were shut, with boxes of charred toilet paper littering the roads. It's still a precious commodity, with people across the globe panic buying toilet rolls. George Pell will learn next week whether his final bid for freedom has been successful. The High Court will hand down a decision in Brisbane on Tuesday. The disgraced Cardinal is serving a maximum 6 years jail after he was found guilty of sexually abusing 2 choir boys when he was Catholic Archbishop of Melbourne in the 1990s. He is 1 year into his sentence. 16 pensioners say they've been left with nowhere to go after being forced out of their caravan park in Broome. Noel Brunning joins us from the GWN7 News Desk with the details.
The pensioners wanted to bunker down in their caravans at the Discovery Holiday Park until the coronavirus pandemic was over. But the park doesn't want any guests other than their permanent residents. The pensioners say they're afraid they'll catch the virus if they're forced to travel somewhere else. The community in Mount Barker is rallying around elderly locals, arranging home grocery delivery so they don't have to visit shops. And Bunbury's iconic Mangrove Cove Tower and the Kumbala Bay Footbridge have been lit up as beacons of hope in these dark times and to say thank you to frontline workers.
The share market was in retreat today, with banks making up much of the losses. Tom Petrovski at CommSec has the latest.
That's right. Sellers were quite energetic in the early part of the session. The ASX 200 at its worst levels was down by 3.6%. So it looked like we were in for another steep nosedive, and it was the banks that were the biggest liability, as you point out. That all turned around the questions that are being asked in relation to the big lenders being able to sustain their very generous dividend payments at the moment. So they were down in the order of around 3 to 5%. But on the positive side, we heard from the Prime Minister today talking about the support that he's going to give parents who are working through this crisis, and that they will effectively have free childcare. And that put a rocket up the childcare providers. So we saw G8 Education up by around 28%. Think Childcare was up by more than 30%. The Aussie dollar is under a little bit of pressure. It's trading around 60.8 US cents.
Up next, some words of wisdom from our kids, how they're viewing the coronavirus crisis. Plus, some good advice from the creator of one of television's most popular comedy shows. And did rainforests exist in Antarctica? Researchers make an amazing discovery.
Have you seen it? An election campaign is just what he needs to fire him up. And I love the fact that she smacks down the trolls. It's completely and utterly wrong. Say yes to everything? Ooh. Oh. God, I don't even know where to start with this. I have a lot of opinions.
Missing a footy? You betcha. Well, 7 Mate has got you covered. We're opening up 7's Footy Vault to bring you the best matches of all time. Relive the biggest flashes, the biggest marks, and the biggest hairdos. Goodness gracious me! The best matches of all time every Friday and Saturday. What a finish! Which classic matches will be dusted off for 7's Footy Vault? Friday, 7:30 on 7 Mate.
The Blinds Gallery's 50% off sale is on now. Style your home for less with up to 50% off indoor and outdoor blinds, curtains and awnings. Plus, huge savings on shutters.
Call 137 127 The Blinds Gallery.
When unexpected guests arrive, don't panic. Use Airwick plug-ins infused with essential oils. Just plug it in to neutralise smells for freshness that lasts up to 100 days. Come in. Airwick plug-ins.
Lunchtime, halftime, full-time, downtime, showtime, prime time, anytime, daytime, nighttime, springtime, summertime, dinner time, bedtime, rest time, mealtime.
Eggs. They're nutritious, delicious and great every day. So get cracking, Australia.
Because sometimes it's more than just growing pains. Bupa offers an online program to help you manage your mental well-being. Bupa, because life happens. Call today.
These are Step 1 underwear. They have these lacquer panels between the legs, which means no more chafing. Go to step1.live and buy the best underwear in the world. No, really. Better than baguette, better than cheese.
As far as the house is concerned, you just cannot get better for the value, for the price. Big en-suites, bathrooms, kitchen, everything's very nice. They say it's paradise, and I think it's pretty right. It is paradise.
Finding footprints of our dino mates.
River filtering mussels. Taking one for the team. Insane.
All thanks to you, Samantha Patterson.
Oh, really? Cool.
Slippy 30.
By playing, you're helping your dreams and those of WA come to life. Lottery West, for your dream state.
My journey began here. Dad taught me the value of hard work, and Mum taught me to back myself. Those lessons followed me into business. There've been challenges, but success only comes when you find a direction you believe in. I took control of my journey, and I know others can too.
So far, the whole continent of Africa, population 1.3 billion, is well behind Europe and the United States in the grip the coronavirus has over it. There are now more than 5,000 confirmed cases in Africa, most of which are concentrated in South Africa, but a lack of testing means the number could be much higher.
Under lockdown in Johannesburg, where it takes the army to marshal a battalion of the city's homeless off the streets, though where they'll take shelter isn't clear. Fearful of what lies ahead, South Africa's government has ordered the country closed for 3 weeks.
Every time you violate the regulations the government has issued or try to get around the rules, you are putting yourselves and others at risk and helping to spread the virus.
A full-scale epidemic would test what is Africa's best public health system to destruction. Even so, one doctor told me they're struggling to get their warnings heard.
A lot of people don't even understand why they're in lockdown, what is a virus, and you're telling us about a virus, you're telling us to wash, but we don't have water. We don't have water to drink. We don't have services. So you have that kind of dilemma where people saying, but what's the point of us locking down when we don't have anything to drink?
Across the border in Zimbabwe, it's even harder to force desperate people to keep their distance. In the food queues, fear of hunger outranks fear of the virus. Hundreds of doctors and nurses are on strike. They lack even basic equipment. And the nation's designated coronavirus hospital is short of power and water. Only a handful of cases have been recorded, but the few who have jobs have been ordered to stay at home.
The only problem in Zimbabwe is our things are not okay, especially economically. So for us not to go to work today, hey, it's a day loss.
The threat of COVID-19 has silenced the continent's biggest city, Lagos, home to 21 million people, where in many streets today, the loudest noise was the sound of teams spraying disinfectant. Some believe Africa's climate and youthful population will make it more resilient. For many thousands of people, that is perhaps their best hope.
He's best known as the creator of the TV show Seinfeld, and Larry David had some pretty good advice for anyone doing too much when they should be self-isolating.
You're passing up a fantastic opportunity, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to stay in the house, sit on the couch, and watch TV. I mean, I don't know how you're passing that up. Well, maybe because you're not that bright.
The Saturday Night Live star called anyone who isn't doing the right thing an idiot, with California, like much of the United States, under lockdown. 2 meteors have been spotted streaking across the night sky in Brazil within 2 days. Such images are extremely rare, according to a professor from the local observatory. The first fell on Sunday night, the second early on Tuesday evening. The freezing landscape of Antarctica might have once been home to rainforests. Fossilised plant roots have been discovered from the time of the dinosaurs, preserved deep under the ocean. Using a drill rig, researchers pulled up a slice of the seafloor, revealing samples of forest soil. They've been dated at around 90 million years old. There's no doubt people are more stressed and anxious than ever before because of coronavirus. So we thought we'd try to lift the mood. Take a look at these gorgeous kids explaining why life has changed.
I can't see my friends because of the coronavirus. The virus. The coronavirus. Because of corona. The virus. When we go outside and play with friends and hold hands, we have done, we will get super, super, super sick and we will never play forever. If you touch something, it'll get germs, and something else touches it, they'll get your sickness. Old people are really scared that they're gonna get sick because the coronavirus. Building Lego. And I like my new desk. They just made me happy playing with Mummy and Abby. About not going make Lego today. We can't go none to the fireworks. They don't want to get sick because they just want to see their kids and granddaughters. Please don't go. But Dad's staying out of home. You can only go to the coffee shop and go for a ride on the bikes. When a coronavirus is gone forever, and we will play with friends forever too.
Gorgeous. Tennis officials make a call on Wimbledon. Details in sport after the break.
With each announcement comes more confusion.
Our future is very uncertain.
That's why every night at 7 p.m, The Latest answers all your critical questions.
This downward trend may actually continue.
New hope for workers. The leading experts.
An enormous amount of money in relief for so many Australians.
What you need to know. Michael Usher and Melissa Doyle bring you The Latest every night at 7.
Busy kids have energy to burn. If you want to be sure they're getting the nutrients they need to grow and thrive, shake it up with Pediasure. A delicious Pediasure health shake contains 28 essential vitamins and minerals, plus protein, pre and probiotic and omega-3, which may help support growth, immunity and a healthy appetite. Make it, shake it, love it. Kids thrive with Pediasure.
Which would you rather? Spend your life renewing insurance policies or stick a stake down your budgies and go swimming with sharks? Well, if you're choosing the sharks, you need a Hug. Hug brings your different insurance needs into one single policy. With just one premium and one renewal a year, Hug can save you 20% on comparable covers. It'll change the way you feel about insurance. Have a Hug. One policy, one premium, one big sigh of relief.
3, 2, 1. Take off. Take charge. Take it all. And then some. Show off. Nice rocket. Show the way. And then some. Be sure. Be adventurous. Just be that person. And then some. The X-Range.
Feed the family with Hungry Jack's new family bundle. Treat yourself with 2 Whoppers, 2 cheeseburgers, 4 small chips, 4 Cokes, 10 nuggets and sauce, only $24.95. Get takeaway, drive-through or delivery at Hungry Jack's.
You know that he's been in better form, and this horse is ready to go one better. That's why you deserve a better bet with Tab Touch. This Saturday, get boosted odds on any 4 races at Randwick or Ascot. Better your bet with Tab Touch. Gamble responsibly.
Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me is a classic album by which band?
Kiss?
Stop the clock. What'd you say?
The Chase, weekdays at 5 on 7.
You're watching 7's Afternoon News. Basil joins us now. Baz, what has the Collingwood coach been saying?
You might have been saying, has somebody been sitting in my chair, Sam? Thank you. Good to see you. Nathan Buckley says Collingwood is preparing for every possible scenario in season 2020. The Pies coach doesn't expect the AFL to resume for at least another 3 months, but he'll happily take a premiership, even if it might have an asterisk next to it.
Nathan Buckley doesn't miss a beat, a walking encyclopedia of all of footy's hot topics.
Whether we've got 18 clubs, what happens to the women's, the AFLW competition, what happens to second tier.
Buckley reluctant to buy in. Instead, he's focused on helping his players establish a routine, explaining it'll pay dividends when footy's back.
The sides that are going to be in contention are going to be sides that actually handle this particular reality well along the journey also.
The Pies coach seems resigned to the prospect footy won't return late May as previously intended.
We fully anticipate that it's very likely that on the 27th of April we'll be told that it's going to be a little bit longer than that, and I think we've got to plan for the worst and hope for the best in this situation.
But explained a compromised season won't affect the Pies' motivation.
I've heard the asterisks sort of label bandied around, and it's a different season, it's a different time, and it exactly is. But we'd be happy to have an asterisk next to our name.
Tom Brown, 7 News.
As we reported earlier, the world's oldest tennis tournament, Wimbledon, is cancelled for the first time since World War II. The decision was made at an emergency board meeting of the All England Club overnight. Officials will instead concentrate on using their resources to help communities deal with the pandemic.
Just hope that, we find a solution sooner or later so we don't go through this again next year. But for now, this was inevitable, unfortunately.
8-time champion Roger Federer says the news is devastating. With Liverpool waiting to see if they can resume their march towards a drought-breaking Premier League title, manager Jurgen Klopp is getting the team together for online yoga sessions while the UK is in lockdown. But it's not everybody's cup of tea.
It's in time.
Premier League bosses say the season cannot resume until it is safe and appropriate to do so. Talks over potential player pay cuts are ongoing. Leading jockey James McDonald has an outstanding book of rides for day one of the championships at Randwick on Saturday. McDonald has the favourite in 2 of the 4 Group 1 races, Castellavecchio in the Australian Derby and Nature Strip in the TJ Smith Stakes, as racing pushes on.
I've obviously got the prize money cut in half, which is fair enough in the times we're living in.
The $1.5 million Doncaster Mile is the highlight of day one. The championships are live and free here on Saturday. Racing does indeed continue. Coming up tonight, Sam, 6 o'clock, Dennis Cometti. His top 3 players who have worn the number 7 Guernsey. West Aussies, specific criteria. We'll fill you in tonight at 6.
I look forward to it. Thanks, Baz. And it's warming up for the weekend. I'll have the weather details right after the break.
This is where WA starts the day.
Live local news from 6 a.m.
I don't know anything about the...
For more, here's Chris Reason, who broke the story.
No matter there were grave concerns.
If it happens in Perth, you'll see it on Sunrise. The best way to start your day in WA.
So, are we ready?
Yes.
Yes. Release the hound!
Pooch Perfect is fun for the entire family. Does your best mate love Pooch Perfect too?
Arr! You were supposed to do the arr because you're the dog.
You'd be barking mad to miss this.
Arr! That's what you have one line.
Thursday family fun for everyone. And we do mean everyone.
You like that one?
Rebel Wilson's Pooch Perfect. Tonight at 8 on 7.
Get peace of mind with Curtin World's in-house finance and keep your money until next year. 50% off shears, $99 rollers, 20% off Very Shades and shutters on sale.
Open up your world.
Fancy a new flavour this refill?
Murray River Salted Caramel.
New Tim Tam Crafted collection. What more could you wish for?
This is how legends are made.
The legendary Toyota Supra is back. Experience the exhilaration for yourself. Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
Lunch money?
Hey, Sarah. I love what you're doing with your hair. She got highlights. She's a princess.
Oh, aren't they all?
Whether you're into romance, budding bromance,
Just a couple of hot-headed fools.
or dudes with no chance, there's a bit of Disney Plus in all of us.
You know that he's been in better form, and this horse is ready to go one better. That's why you deserve a better bet with Tab Touch. This Saturday, get boosted odds on any 4 races at Randwick or Ascot. Better your bet with Tab Touch. Gamble responsibly.
A great garden is a real work of art. And for over 100 years, Richgrow have been helping Australians to grow beautiful, healthy gardens. Our ongoing research, development and testing has ensured that every product in the Richgrow range is of the highest standard to create the Richgrow effect. To see the difference in your garden, pick some up today and grow you good things.
Five to get in 19 seconds, but he's really going to have to motor.
Umpire.
Correct.
Scotland.
Correct.
Hamilton.
Correct.
18.
Dave. Correct. Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me is a classic album by which band?
Kiss.
Stop the clock. What'd you say?
The Chase, weekdays at 5 on 7.
Good afternoon, it's Savannah here with a check on your roads, and unfortunately there has been an early crash in Como, still causing some delays, and Canning Highway westbound is still closed after the Kwinana Freeway. Now emergency services do remain on site for the moment. It's definitely best to avoid the area if you can. Otherwise, happy to say freeways are looking good. One award-winning car insurance. Join RAC Insurance, CanStar's 2019 winner for the most satisfied customers in WA. Get a quote at rac.com.au. More traffic tomorrow.
Now, Fuel Watch, Perth's petrol prices. Brought to you by Fuel Watch and 7 News.
Checking the weather now, we had a bit of drizzle late morning at a cool top of 24 degrees. Looking at the national forecast, partly cloudy in Hobart tomorrow, rain in Canberra and showers developing in Adelaide. And for Perth, very chilly tonight. It's going to drop to just 8 degrees before a sunny Friday with a top of 24. The sunshine will roll into Saturday, 27 the maximum. It's going to be cloudy and 29 on Sunday. Then a stretch of warm sunshine, 30 on Monday, 32 on Tuesday and 31 on Wednesday. Then the clouds return for Thursday with a chance of a shower or two. And I'll see you with Rixu and Baz for 7 News at 6. Stay with us for the Chase Australia.
Hey, Mum, guess what? George and I are going on a TV show.
You might find nice 2 girls on the show.
It's a renovation show, Mum, not a dating show.
Get a wife and get a life, both of you.
Now, these 2 boys are all grown up and finally leaving home.
This is my place.
But do they have the skills?
Never made a bit of my life.
To cut it on House Rules.
They wanted luxury and glamour. You got luxury and glamour.
Let's go! They've got the one thing.
We're going to be doing everything in our power to try and win.
You can't win without.
Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes.
A hunger to win.
I'm hungry. Hello? Finished yet? I really got to get stuck into this work. Pressure's really starting to get to me.
But could these 2 boys...
This is a couple of bachelors, and yet this seems very sophisticated.
...grow up to become House Rules champions?
I love that!
Blown away. Oh, my Lord, boys. The decorating is great.
They are a team to watch.
And just wait till they come home to their dream.
Are you kidding? This is amazing. No. Wow.
These are TV's most inspiring reveals. Welcome to High Stakes, only on 7. It's here, Monday at 7.
These 4 strangers must work as a team to win thousands of dollars, but standing in their way is one of the sharpest minds in Australia, the Chaser. The chase is on. Welcome to the Chase Australia. Great to have your company as always. Really lovely team we've got back here. Seem to be getting along well. Let's hope they can work well together. Here they are.
Hi, I'm Katrina. I'm a recruitment consultant, and this year I'm doing 50 fun things in my 50th year.
Hi, I'm Abby. I'm a communications coordinator and my goal is to complete a 30-day hike before I'm 30.
I'm Gerald. I'm a survivor and no chaser is going to bring me down.
Hi, I'm Speed. I'm a personal trainer, professional wrestler and all-round nice guy.